Wherever football is played, you'll find it. A heartbeat. It is a powerful presence in every city, every hometown, every neighborhood where the game lives. It brings joy, optimism, and hope across America. It lives in those who bring it to life. This is Heart of the Game. A city forged by steel and defined by toughness. Their team has become the gold standard. Now, after rewriting the narrative of their civic history, they seek to construct a new, victorious chapter in their legacy.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are high for this ball game today. It's Pittsburgh's first playoff ever, while the Raiders are almost a perennial in the postseason head-knocking.
First of all, I didn't have plans of going into professional football. Then, as you know, I got that phone call that said, congratulations, you're drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And the score now, the Oakland Raiders 7 and the Pittsburgh Steelers 6.
The most losingest team ever in NFL history. Fewest points ever scored. And then 1972.
Fourth and 10, the last shot for the Steelers' life here.
Bradshaw let the ball fly downfield.
Steps up, throws way upfield.
And there's this big collision.
Last chance for the Steelers. And his pass broken up by Tatum. Tipped off. Franco Harris has it.
I don't believe it. Franco Harris goes 40 yards.
This town went nuts.
See, we're greater than just mill workers.
This could be the start of something big.
The Immaculate Reception was a pivot point in Steelers history. It sent the Steelers franchise into an orbit. This was a blue-collar, smoky city, and all of a sudden it knew that it had to transform.
Talk to my agent about my next movie. Make it a Western.
Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl.
The steel industry collapsed.
The Steelers out to win their fourth Super Bowl.
They had to identify with the winner.
Hard to beat. Hard to beat.
If you look at what has happened here, 3 coaches in 40-some years, all very successful.
You're the winningest franchise in NFL history.
I think Rooney equals stability.
Pittsburgh's 6th Super Bowl.
The owner ought to stay out of the way and let the players play and the coaches coach. So that's kind of been part of the approach for a long time now. Keeping focused on the goals is a big part of the success.
When Mike Tomlin says the standard is the standard, everybody knows what he's talking about.
Man, let's go get it. Put up or shut up time.
Pittsburgh is a perfectly kept secret.
If I ever fall.
For years, it was that go-to line in a movie, like, we're going to send you back to Pittsburgh, or we're going to ship you off to Pitt, whatever.
Why or when?
And I think that came from people that had this idea that it was this steel mill burning nightmare, and it's not.
Get out of the boy.
The dialect is certainly bizarre. Eaton's getting downtown and that. Yeah, Steelers are on Sunday. Going down Donzi's there on ladies' night, Washington. George Washington. As far as the cuisine goes, pierogies. There's a huge Polish population that has a lot of credit for building the city up, and some of the best meals I've ever had are ones that I've had at the new restaurants in Pittsburgh.
One of the things that is very interesting about the food in Pittsburgh is it's multicultural. I wanted to bring food that I was actually served at home. Growing in Mexico, my grandfather was a huge Steeler fan. He said that I was destined to be a Steeler fan as well. I met my wife in Cancun. She was a customer of mine. I asked her, where you guys from? And she said, we're from Pittsburgh. I was like, no kidding. I'm a Steeler fan. It was downhill from there.
When you're born in Pittsburgh, this is who you are. This is sewn into the fabric of your being. This is who you fight for. We always say in Pittsburgh, you know, on Sundays, everybody might not be in church, but they're watching the Steelers.
It was a 1979 AFC Championship game against the Houston Oilers. Steeler offense was on a 10-yard line. I got up and I screamed, "Come on, let's go!"
Come on, let's go!
I just felt some energy behind me.
Look at those terrible tires flying, you betcha!
And that was Steeler Nation. Just the way the fans guided me up on that dugout, and I just went nuts with the terrible towel. Believe it or not, the next play, Rocky Blyer scores.
We give to Blyer. Blyer shoots over the right side, fights his way down. Blyer is in for the touchdown.
Some people like to hunt, some people like to do other things, but my passion is the Steelers.
Here we go, Steelers! Here we go! Here we go, Steelers! Here we go! Here we go!
The Steelers fans are unique in the NFL. Their passion is unparalleled.
Look at all these terrible towels. Everybody got a terrible towel.
That terrible towel is the symbol and the key to the whole spirit of Steeler Nation.
Dear Father, art Rooney in heaven, Hinesfield be thy name.
Steelers fans just stand out. I mean, their passion is unparalleled. It's almost a religious experience.
We got a game to win.
Thy kingdom come and 6 Super Bowls won on earth right here in Pittsburgh.
When that scoreboard goes black, it lights up this stadium like no other.
Give us this day a Permani sandwich.
It's all about our football team.
And forgive us of our penalties.
That love for our city, for our fans.
As we forgive those that try to beat us.
When those mills closed, the worst team in NFL history suddenly became the greatest dynasty that the NFL had ever seen.
And lead us into the Super Bowl, but deliver us no evil.
This is an important year for us.
For Ben is the kingdom.
And back steps up.
It's a group that has been together for a while.
And Antonio's the glory.
The end zone is caught.
Forever and ever.
It's time to make it happen.
Amen.
While the game's most intense crucible has burnished some, it has also melted the hopes of others. In a southern city well-versed in rebirth, one franchise must take the heartbreak of the recent past to fuel the optimism of what's still to come.
Hear ye, all Falcons fans. We've been waiting on this moment for a long time. Today is the day. This is the day that we open up the big body bins. Join me in a word of prayer. We pray that Matt Ryan has the strength of 10,000 men in his arms so he can throw many touchdowns. We ask that all 10 of Julio's toes are healthy and he's able to run his routes. We ask that the defense comes together like old grits on the stove for 4 days. We want them to be together nice and tight. We want Devontae Freeman to run like his life is on the line. Today is the day. This is the day that we start redeeming ourselves. Because Atlanta Falcons fans, we are passionate. We are strong. We are optimistic. We don't give up. And we shall rise up today. Can I get a squad?
Atlanta was so good for who I was at the time. It's unbelievable. We was out there on bicycles, man, with your homie on the handlebars. That's how the fans was rolling with us. That's how good the feeling was. I mean, and when we went around town, we didn't have to duck and dodge and hide no more. I'm with the Falcons. Come on here. It was that kind of party. So I chose Atlanta because of the freedom. I chose Atlanta because they could understand me. They could understand me coming out here with some weight around my neck. They could understand me with my curl looking wet, but it was dry. They could understand the swag that I came with. They understood. And I love that, man.
I think now it's a renewed energy, excitement. The players are bought into it, but now, most importantly, the fans. They want to see a certain type of football, and I think now we're starting to understand the key to success. The fans, they're optimistic about the future because you just went to the Super Bowl and you played the greatest head coach and the greatest quarterback in the history of the game, and you were very close to being a Super Bowl champion. Everywhere I go now, people are always talking about Atlanta Falcons, the Falcons football. This is a transit community. It's people from all over the country that come to Atlanta. So you got to go to the core of the community, people who've been here pretty much all of their lives. They're some diehard, old school, everyday people, the true diehard fans that all they desire is to see a team win a Super Bowl.
My first name is Melvin. My last name is Malone. I've been living in the city of Atlanta all my life. I'm a Grady baby, and I've been working at Ben's for 10 years. Oh, I just love the people that work here, and I get along with the customers. It's just like home. When and why I fell in love with the Atlanta Falcons? Because I was crazy about Billy White Shoes Johnson. He could really catch that ball, man.
Bartkowski to throw. He is going long down the near sidelines, and it is pulled down by Billy Johnson. He's in! Touchdown! Touchdown, Atlanta! Billy Johnson! It's a touchdown! The Falcons have won it!
Everybody loves football in the South. Everybody loves football in Atlanta. I would describe the Falcons fans as hardcore and enthusiastic. They've been through some hard times, and now they're trying to learn how to enjoy being on top. The feeling around the city is one of great hype, and we can trace that back to when the folks would be out in the Gulch at 6, 7 in the morning with generators and DJs, tailgating before the game. Sometimes the folks didn't make it into the games because the party was so good outside, but now they're making it into the games because the team is very good. They certainly appear to be poised to get back to the Super Bowl. Matt Ryan is a cerebral quarterback. They've put weapons around him, and now they're all of a sudden a Super Bowl contender because he knows what he's doing back there. On the skill positions, Julio Jones is where it starts and stops with the Falcons. In the backfield, Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman. So it's a vast array of offensive firepower, and they know how to get to it, and they know how to use it. When you talk about Keanu Neal, Deion Jones, Devondre Campbell, rookie starters last year, those guys should be immensely better.
High formation behind Rodgers, play fake. Now they're going to try and get it to Cobb. Rodgers in trouble, sacked Devondre Campbell. They faked it to Cobb on the reverse, and Devondre Campbell slides into the backfield to register the sack.
Wes, I talked to Devondre before the season started. I said, what part of your game are we going to see that we didn't see last year? Does it have anything to do with putting the quarterback down? He just had a big grin on his face, didn't say anything else.
Growing up in the South, you know, I'm not from Atlanta, but I always kind of wondered what the scene was like. The football team has been around a long time, and we all know they've never won a Super Bowl before. So for us to be able to go and accomplish what we did last year, you can see how much it meant to this city of Atlanta. I feel like the city really deserves it, so we're gonna do our best to try to bring one back for them. The stadium is ridiculous. Let me just say that, first of all. It's the best sports venue that I've ever saw. Low ticket prices, low food prices for kids who grew up or live on the west side to be able to go experience a game. It's something they can remember for the rest of their lives. Being able to have that impact and know you're a part of that impact, man, it's pretty cool.
We don't have a football team where I'm from, so you know, I never went to an NFL game until I went to a Falcons game. So, of course, I became a fan at that point. And cutting some of the players' hair will make you a fan too, because you grow to know them and then you want to watch the person that you cut. I like music. I've been doing music all my life. And my son, he loves music too. He's a great producer. I put a studio together and there you have it, man. We just grinding out.
Me personally, I think Atlanta is running the music scene in terms of hip hop. You know, from guys like Future to Migos, It's a real good base here, and they support us a lot.
This season is exciting for one because we got a new dome. It's massive. I think we might have the best dome in the world now.
I heard that we got the biggest screen in any stadium in football. I know Jerry Jones probably hates that, right?
The Cowboys should have the largest stadium ever built.
I mean, I'm just excited to go to that stadium and we get a couple of wins and we start heading in the same direction. It's going to be an amazing season.
Dirty Bird time, man.
Falcons fans, hear me loud and clear. We are finally gathered here today in our place of victory, our new place of victory, the Big Body Benz. Today is the day that we make a statement, and we're gonna do it against those cheesy Green Bay Packers. We don't like cheese in the A. We lactose intolerant. We don't even like green and yellow. We run yellow lights down here. Green lights, we go faster. At the red lights, we say rise up, because that's what Falcons do. We rise up.
So this puts Atlanta in prime position now, leading by 10. At the snap, going to throw out in the flat, touchdown, Tevin Coleman at the right side. Matt Ryan's first touchdown pass inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Atlanta, to this day, been just starving for a winner. And they gonna ride with you, man. If you just go out there and play your heart out and give it your all, they gonna ride with you. And then you put some winning on top of that, baby.
We have to have each other's back. I depend on you, you depend on me. And if we do it as a brotherhood, it's not one person that's gonna win the game. All of us are gonna win the game because we all do our job and do our part.
For a franchise with recent memory of the brightest stage, the passion is understandable. But in the heartland of America, where the game marches to its own beat, the excitement of Chiefs Kingdom is matched by longing and the hope that a long wait may soon be over.
Today, it's the Raiders and Chiefs, both teams in contention for a division title.
Understand, this is a playoff type atmosphere.
The Chiefs' stretch of just one win in the last 6 games has been perplexing.
We understand that. We prepared for this moment right here.
So how do you break out of this kind of slump? You start at the very beginning and know this: no problem is impossible.
People talk about Kansas City as is it in the middle of nowhere, but we like to say it's in the middle of everything. I love its affinity for music, all kinds. It is a true cross-section of all kinds of folks. It's a fabulous place to live the rest of your life once you're done playing for the Chiefs.
Hello again. We're at the Lane Stadium in New Orleans for this Super Bowl game.
Well, I've been here a long time. I go all the way back to, I guess, Super Bowl IV.
That's the way to go, Leonard. You done good, kid. Lenny Dawson, listen to the crowd. Nice going, Leonard.
That was the first Super Bowl that we won.
World champions, baby. Nice going. Yeah. How sweet it is.
And you can't believe the number of people that were outside waiting for us to let us know how important it was for them.
I want to introduce the greatest quarterback in pro football, Lenny Dawson.
It did something to the people in Kansas City. A feeling of, hey, we got it here too, not just New York and some of the other big places.
The greatest day in the history of Kansas City.
I tell you, I've never been alive to see the Chiefs win a Super Bowl, but what it would mean to Kansas City and me as a Chiefs fan, it's one of the biggest bucket lists of my life. It was part of my wedding vows. Probably the moment where I locked into being a diehard Chiefs fan is watching a guy named Dante Hall. This guy was like a human joystick. Particular play would have to be against the Denver Broncos. It didn't look like the play was going anywhere, but he kept backtracking. Something you would see on the game of Madden. Sure enough, he beat the whole team and took off.
Dante Hall's going to do it again. The human joystick with the touchdown.
X Factor kind of sucked me in pretty good. At Arrowhead Stadium, there's always somebody that gets to beat the drum. My wife, Tara, she nominated me, and I was very, very fortunate to be able to beat that drum. That's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and I'll never, ever, ever forget it.
Carr to throw, under pressure, the ball floats up in the air, intercepted, Terrence Mitchell tracked that football down like a hunting dog.
I've been with the Chiefs. They tell me this is my 35th year. I'm not sure I believe it, but that's what they say. I pack every player's travel bag myself, and I know each player's own specific things that they use, wrist braces or certain shoes. I take a lot of pride in that, and I know the players appreciate that.
Today is the 20th playoff start for Joe Montana.
We were playing our first playoff game here in years. It was cold, and Joe had never played with gloves before.
And over the middle, it's incomplete, so he's been high, low, and wide.
I'm standing next to him on the sideline, and we're talking, and he says, I don't know what's going on. And I said, Joe, you've never played with gloves. And he looked down at his hands, and he takes the gloves off and hands them to me. And then goes on this tremendous run. We come back and win the game in overtime, and was an article in the paper about these gloves that next day, and so they went and got a copy of it and framed them and put them in our Hall of Fame, which are up there today.
Sunday is my church.
Welcome to Arrowhead.
The smokers are going, it smells of barbecue, you've got people playing bags, and we're all just having a great time.
I'll humbly tell you, I came up with the Chiefs Kingdom moniker because it is a sense of family. The Chiefs Kingdom is way beyond football. It brings rural and urban together. It combines race, creed, and color. They all come together under the Chiefs Kingdom flag and under the arrowhead, and for at least a while, they're all one.
Charkandrick West is in. He'll get a right side run at the 10. Inside the 5, Charkandrick West dragging Raiders all the way into the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City!
You can't fake this job. You have to have passion. This organization is my identity. And I think that's what makes it easy for me to come in and give the passion that I do every day.
I think they believe in themselves now, that they stay on course, that they'll have a shot to go back to the Super Bowl.
I hope I get to experience that day.
Walking down those stairs to my seats, it makes me feel like a kid. It just makes me feel like I'm home.
The urgency of the postseason can be an infectious spirit, and in some places it mixes with a natural sense of creativity to form a rhythm all its own.
It's time to play ball.
Mariota dives, stretches the football. He kicks it home. He
There are other music cities in the States, and they're great, and they all have their unique thing, but Nashville has always felt so special because of the community. People are not trying to step on each other to get ahead, they're trying to lift each other up. All around us in such a concentrated area, there are these superstars and people that we've looked up to forever. I mean, they're titans in their own right. If anything, it just pushes you as an artist to do something better.
Mariota play fake, throwing deep, there's Taylor at the 10, at the 5, touchdown, Titans!
This town, it's not full of fair weather fans, and we really support the team in, highs and lows.
There's such a camaraderie there. If they win, it's a celebration and everybody is happy and hugging.
It's a passionate city.
Yep.
I mean, we write songs that are about life, so it's ingrained in the makeup of the city.
You don't believe in superstition. When you pull me in, I get a premonition.
Go Titans! Yeah, Titans, all that long, baby. Let's go. Make a noise. Help us out. Get loud tonight. Let's go. All right. Let's go, baby. Let's go, bro. Go, Titans, go!
The feelings and emotions on game day in Nashville are electric. My game day routine is to arise as early as possible. There's a great deal of anxiety upon arising. My wife and I are generally a little snippy with each other because I'm so anxious we get our memorabilia together and get our gear on. We like to arrive at the stadium as soon as the gates open. I like to pump up the crowd. I feel like that's sort of my calling for the Titans. And this mild-mannered person that you're seeing right now turns into a passionate fan who high-fives almost every fan that he sees and asks them to please tighten up, get loud, help the defense, make a difference.
If you're around my husband, you're gonna know that football is everything come August to February. If we're gonna do something special on Sundays, we don't plan it during football season. That is Bud's time for football, and that's okay.
For her to become a football fan, an NFL fan, it took a few years to sort of get her into the mold. Now she's almost as big a fan as I am. She's my soulmate. I've lived in several different cities, and never have I found a warmer community. What really draws the people together, I think, is the music and the spirit of the music. There's something about music that reaches the soul. I think as much as anything, that's what makes us most unique.
This city means a lot to me. This state means a lot to me. My family still lives in Tennessee. To be able to fast forward to where I'm at now, be back home working for the team that I have come to love a lot, it's pretty special. Tennessee being the volunteer state, to me that's a selfless mindset. Roll your sleeves up, come into work every day and try to get wins on Sundays.
Touchdown! Mariota, the young maestro.
Marcus Mariota is tough. He's a competitive guy. He's a tireless worker in this building to try to put our team in position to be successful.
I fell in love with football on September 24th, 1973, when I came into the world.
It was the camaraderie, it's the smell of that fresh-cut grass, it's the uniforms, it's the rivalries. There's nothing like this game on the face of this earth.
Let's go! We know what to do! Let's go! 1, 2, 3! Let's go! Ready? 1, 2, 3!
Blitz coming. Give Eddie charge. Cuts back up the middle. 35. Has room. 40.
He's out of here.
50. 35, 30. 25, 20. 10, 5. In zone. 68 yards. Eddie charge. Touchdown.
There's a term called Tennessee tough. There's a toughness about the city. The people here, the hard workers. This is not a wine and cheese type of city. This is barbecue sauce on your shirt. It's a beer in your hand. It's grimy. It's in your face. Our first playoff game against the Buffalo Bills here in 2000. It was tight throughout. It was a quintessential playoff game where every inch counts and every yard counts, every down counts. And they kick a field goal in this end zone right here with about 16 seconds left.
Yes! This is our house!
It was dead silence. Just like this. So the ball gets kicked off, and Lorenzo Neal catches the football. Then I see him toss the ball to Frank Watchek. I said, what is this? Are we gonna throw the ball all around the field, the lateral, and what are we doing here? This is a bit much. Then all of a sudden, I see Kevin Dyson catch the ball, and I see a beautiful wall of Titan players. I said, oh my goodness. Kevin takes off sprinting down the sideline. He goes into that end zone. This place erupts.
There are no
It was the most amazing play that I've ever experienced. And to go from one extreme emotionally to the next in a matter of 16 seconds, that's what makes this game great. What gives me optimism about where they are and where they can go is the fact that they've gotten better over the course of the last 2 years. Mariota, he can throw it, he can run, he's a great leader.
One play at a time, that's all we got to do. It's a process, right?
The offensive backfield is potent. There's a certain attitude, there's a togetherness that they have. They're playing for each other, they fight for each other. And when you have that type of unit where you're close-knit, you can overcome anything and everything. And that's what gives me optimism that they can take their game to the next level.
I've got to believe that I could still win it all with just one good shot. I know I can steal the show.
Tonight, the electricity is back.
And I am descending on
Monday Night Football is back.
The surface of a dream, and I know that I might aim too high. Touching down ain't enough. I got stars for eyes. Oh.
Give it to Henry, running to the left. He turns the corner. He's got the first down. Henry down the sidelines. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, end zone. Touchdown! Titans!
It manifests itself in many different ways, in forms as unique and varied as the cities that embrace it. But no matter the setting or the history or the tradition, it remains a constant. The spirited, unifying, ever-present, always beating heart of the game.